family, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Living Your Life Without Limits, a show about motivation, inspiration, and elevation. My name is Shannon Jackson, also known as the People's Nurse, and today's episode will be discussing emergency preparedness. Are you ready? Stay tuned.
Wake up, everybody, let's elevate your mind. Live your life without limits, no more wasting time. Don't forget to stay focused while continuing to stay on the grind. Keep your vision real tight, and your future be bright until the finish line.
Hey family, once again, I'm back. So glad to have you with us. If you are struggling with an addiction, look no further. Allies of Sobriety and Addiction Recovery offer a variety of customized in-home programs tailored to meet your addiction needs. For more information, please contact them at the link beneath. And now it's time for Soul Fuel, which is the Word of God. And today's scripture reading is taken from 1 Peter 5:7. Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. So today we're going to be discussing emergency preparedness and are you ready? And I'm going to be focusing on natural disasters. Natural caused disasters affect thousands of people each year. Major adverse events such as these have the potential to cause catastrophic loss of life and physical destruction. They're often unexpected and can leave a whole community in shock. So let's dive right into it. So the first one is earthquakes. Earthquakes are unpredictable. Did you know it is estimated that there are 500,000 detectable earthquakes in the world each year? 100,000 of those can be felt, and 100 of them can cause severe damage. So in order to reduce injury during an earthquake, please make sure you drop, cover, and hold. Our second natural disaster, I'll be discussing about droughts. Did you know that the Colorado River, the country's two largest reservoirs, have allowed Western farms and cities from Los Angeles to Denver to have a stable water supply throughout a relentless 21-year mega drought? But as of today, Lake Powell and Lake Mead are hovering at close to 33% of their full capacity. This is an historic low not seen since the dams were first built. Now, what is something you can do during a drought? Conserve by restricting and reserving your own water supply. This is very paramount to areas around the country or the world that are prone to droughts. So remember, conservation is key. So our third one is one that we've all seen a lot of imaging around the world regarding floods, storms, and hurricanes. They have all hit places such as Italy, China, Europe, New York, and Texas, causing great damage. Another one is tornadoes. Did you know on July the 29th, 2021, there was 5 tornadoes, 5, that hit New Jersey in a single day, one with a topping speed of 140 miles per hour, and the lowest being at 80 miles per hour. And our fifth one is wildfires. In the year 2020 in California, my home state, more than 4.2 million acres were burned, which is equivalent of Los Angeles, Orange County, Santa Clara, and Santa Cruz combined. This year, 2021, California is experiencing its single largest wildfire in the history, and that is the Dixie Fire, which is ongoing in Northern California. Now, we've talked about 5 different forms of natural disasters. As you can see, it can happen anywhere around the world. So it is important that you have a plan, because having a plan can not only save your life, but the life of your loved ones. It is important that you understand that your plan should be tailored to your specific needs based on your health, your living conditions, and also the region of where you live and your responsibilities. But I'm going to give you some key things to take into consideration when you're developing your customized plan. And let's dive into that list now. So the first one is, it is important to have a communication plan. And in that communication plan, you want to look at having key phone numbers, such as emergency contact numbers in a central location. Maybe even having a backup emergency phone, like another mobile cell phone. Your emergency contact is often easier to call if you designate someone that is out of state. For example, I live in California. So I have a designated call list of a family member in Florida. So if anything happens to me, that individual will be the one that I'm asking everyone to call so that we can get in contact with each other. So have somebody, whether it's out of state or locally, as an emergency contact that you can call or text and explain that you're in an event of a disaster and get information out to the rest of the family and get help to you. Escape routes. Learn your environment. In your home, where you work, it is very important that you survey your environment, because oftentimes when emergency happens, it's sudden, it's unexpected, and your adrenaline is pumping and you're worried and you're rushing and you're trying to think on your feet. So you want to already know what's an escape route. Identify an emergency meeting spot, somewhere separate. So if your home is unable to be utilized, where is everybody going to meet? Have you thought about it? Is there a designated park? Is there a designated location where if people are separated, you can come together? And for those of us that are pet lovers, you want to have a pet plan. So not just have a plan for you and your loved ones that live with you, but also for our pets. It's important how we're going to house them, how we're going to take care of them, and how we're going to nurture them, because they're also going to go through this impact of the disaster as well. This is one that's really important, and I've named it a grab and go bag. When there is a true emergency, you are going to be grabbing and hitting the road. So I call it a grab and go bag. And what that is having ready supplies for you or your family to have and grab and quickly be able to have with you until things settle, or you get in a place where you're settled and can kind of resume some of your normal activities. So here is a list of some key things that you can put in your grab and go bag. Very important that you have at least 3 days of water supply and non-perishable food. But you want to have enough that if there is a major disaster where it's shut down roads and lights and emergency assistance, stores are closed, you can survive. And 3 days of water and some non-perishable foods like crackers or canned tuna, Vienna sausages, whatever your preference is. Some things that have good expiration dates that you can put into your grab and go bag. You can kind of live off of it until help can get to you. And make sure you have some ready change of clothing and footwear. And I want to say comfortable shoe wear. comfortable shoe wear, because you're going to be moving or you may be displaced for a while. So you want something that's going to be able to endure hours of waiting for you to get settled. What's very important, as I just mentioned it a little bit, having enough medication on hand. You want to always make sure that you're always at no less than 5 days of medicine on hand, that in the event something happens, you can survive within that 5 days to have your key medicine. In your grab and go bag, you want to have a first aid kit. The basis of that is that it'll help you with cuts and bruises, and if there's any basic things, some of them have Tylenol or aspirin in them and things of that nature that can help you. So in the event there was some minor injuries that took place, Band-Aids and things like that, you can help take care of that until, as I said, emergency help arrives. Emergency supplies, battery-operated radios, flashlights, tape, plastic bags, and obviously, a very key one is basic personal care needs. What you want to do is have some of those basic things on hand for you. So in the event, again, no one can get to you right away, or you're in a place where you're there, but they don't have enough supplies, you have a little bit to do things for yourself. It'll make you feel so much better. And this one can be a little tough one because sometimes times are hard and economic challenges face us all. But try to have some loose cash on hand and maybe some checks or some credit cards or some way where you can be able to purchase items or do some form of exchange and get food or maybe gas or things of that nature. And when it comes to money, you got to put it in your grab and go bag and forget about it. Because you know how it can be at times when money gets low, we go into the piggy banks and we go into the little change pockets and we take that up. But this has to be something that you're willing to put away and forget about it and have it for a true emergency. You want to also make sure you look at important documents, such as your driver's license or social security cards or maybe mortgage papers or other critical documents that you might need. Rather either have copies of them or have a USB access, or at least have them scanned up in a way that you can retrieve them should something happen that we see often, and it's sad and a tragedy where a whole house burns down and nothing's there. Everything's gone. You want to have these critical documents accessible to you so that you can start life over again. And it's already a stressful and challenging time. So these items that we're talking about are just universal things. And as I said before, you want to customize your plan as well as your grab and go bag for you and your family to meet your needs and reflect where you are and the things that you know that will be important to you should a disaster take place. So family, as I'm bringing this to a close, remember, people who live through a disaster can experience great emotional distress, feelings of anxiety, constant worrying, trouble sleeping, and other depression-like symptoms are common before, during, and after an event has taken place. Some people are able to just bounce back, but many will require help from family, community, and also professional help, counseling, and support in order to move forward. No one is exempt from a disaster happening. It can affect all of us. That is why it's so important for each of us to be ready. And the best time to prepare for a disaster is before it happens. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this commercial break with chat and facts. If you haven't noticed, people are struggling. In a moment where so many agree on so little, there's one thing we can all agree on: hope. Street love started as an idea, and it's growing into a movement. right, my name is Shannon Jackson, your resident host for Living Your Life Without Limits, also known as the People's Nurse. And I'm on a mission to spread love, city by city, street by street. Join our Indiegogo campaign. Okay, family, we're back again with our segment called Chat and Facts, where you, the viewers and listening audience, can email us your question at info@livingyourlifewithoutlimits.com. Each week, we will select one of your questions and provide the answer online. For your participation, you will also be entered into our Living Your Life Without Limits monthly drawing with the chance to win a free gift. So our chat today comes from Catherine from California. I recently had some labs done and my fasting blood sugar was 130. So my doctor said I might be a diabetic, but she will have another lab test done called A1C. Can you explain the lab test to me? Thank you, Catherine, for this very important question. The A1C test is also known as the hemoglobin A1C. It is a simple blood test that measures your average blood sugar levels over the past 3 months. It is one of the tests commonly used to diagnose prediabetes and diabetes. It is also a main test that will help you and your healthcare team managers manage your diabetes. The A1C results typically run in these ranges. Normal is below 5.7%. Prediabetes is 5.7% to 6.4%. Diabetes is 6.5% or above. For more information on diabetes management, please check out our free resource section on our Living Your Life Without Limits website. Okay, family, we're at our final segment now, which is called Game On, where we test your knowledge on TV trivia. And today's question is, what lifeguards would you want to protect you? Take a listen to this audio clip. If you guessed it right, it's Baywatch, which ran from 1989 to 2001. Our time is up, family, and I want to thank you once again for joining us today at Living Your Life Without Limits. My goal and desire is to bring you education, information, and motivation each week for you to continue to live your life without limits. And for more information from Living Your Life Without Limits, check out our website at livingyourlifewithoutlimits.com. And as I always end, and I will today, remember, family, to love yourself. Take care of yourself, because guess what? You are absolutely worth it. Thank you for tuning in and joining us today. See you next week. Bye-bye.